mind, this is not MSPO, it's different with what we are doing for our government, the mandatory MSPO. This is RSPO, so it's somewhat different, but at the same time there are many similarities. So let me start. This is RSPO for smallholder who is 50 hectare below. You can join this RSPO. And I'm going to start with RSPO for smallholder. It has 3 stages. The first stage is eligibility stage, which is all about documentation and declarations. I will explain a bit more, and today our session is mainly about eligibility and also about how we can claim money lah. So number 2 is milestone A. It's about trainings. And number 3 is implementation. I'll very quickly just go through this. Eligibility is about land title, about provide coordinates, maps, and also provide information of your land has been planted with palm oil after 2005, 2005, and provide information of other crops planted on the land. And number 5 is declaration on land with 25-degree slope. So if there is a slope, then you have to declare it. Number 6 is your land is on pit soil. Number 7 is planted or expansion of plants. Number 8, any land dispute. Number 9 is provide evidence of ownership, whether it's yours or you are hiring or renting somebody else's land. The 10 is, this is very important also, is the land title have written words that is planted for palm oil or has this word cultivation of an agricultural crop of economy and value. Number 11 is declaration of laborer. So this has been discussed in our previous Zoom meeting. If you are interested, please visit the Facebook, and we have some video recorded about this, how we can manage and do our labor contracts as well as the payrolls. Number 12 is whether our land is, whether one of our lands or our lands are classified as national park or protected area, or even is next to a national park or protected area, it has to be declared. So the next one, this one I'm not going to go through much. This is milestone A. Trainings are provided after finish of the eligibility stage, and each member has to attend these trainings. Milestone B is implementation. What you have learned from the training, you have to implement in the 4th year. So, quick summary. Eligibility stage in the RSPO requirements, it provides us 2 years to correct or rectify or make good of the documentation that I mentioned just now for 2 years. And then for milestone A training stage, it gives us 1 year, which is the 3rd year to do all these trainings. And the 4th year, milestone B, which is implementation. Everybody who interested, who want to implement the things that we have learned and trained in the 3rd year. All right. So, just a quick one. Is there any questions about what I just said just now? Any questions? All right. Then we shall talk about money. I think the money side is very important for RSPO, especially for our smallholder. I think for everybody, especially for smallholder, because RSPO is not only making us as a responsible farmers, but also in order to be, it also provide us an incentive to be a more responsible farmers in terms of being an RSPO member. Oh, hang on, this is a wrong slide, sorry. Okay, this is currently our, hang on 1 second, I have to bring down my device. Currently in Koperasi, which is the one that you join, Koperasi LKSS, we have 33 members already interested to join RSPO. I'm not sure which one in this group, which of you have already joined in this chat group and this Zoom, but there's already 33 members interested to join. And what you're looking at is an Excel sheet that I have done a quick summary. If you can look at the first year here, okay? During the first year for the eligibility stage.
Can I interrupt a bit? I think you need to explain the production first.
Production.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean this one? Which one, Mr. Hill?
The hectares, is it? The 500 hectares is your production? So.
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to this one. I think it's easier. Okay. All right, for the 33 members in those who are already interested, the total acreage that we have already for the 33 members is 1,265.44 acres, which is this one. So with our Koperasi, we have an average of yield, so which is 0.87 acres for FFB, and just 1 second. Okay, right, let's start again. All right, in the 33 members, total acreage is 1,265.44 acres. What I'm talking about here is how we can use RSPO to help us to make a little bit more money for our FFB sales. And I think Mr. Hugh, can you assist in explaining in terms of how do we do the credit sales and also the platform for RSPO? Can you do that?
Yes. Okay. So you can see the 1,265 acres. With the yield that you have, the average yield of 0.876 yield per acre. So in terms of yearly production, we will have about 13,000 ton. 13,000 ton, and then if you convert that to CPO, because the RSPO credit is claimed under CPO production, so that means you have 2,660 tons of CPO. So under milestone A, you will be able to claim 40% of that. So that will give you about 1,064 tons of CPO. The last price that we quoted was about $14 USD. That will equivalent to about $14,898 in terms of USD. If we convert from that USD to ringgit, we will have about 60,000 a year. Then if you divide that by 13,000 ton, so each member will get about $4.55 per ton. Okay. This credit we will be able to sell it. So how do we sell it? Currently there are two channels to sell it. One is under the Koperasi. So when the Koperasi sells this credit for you, it'll be something like a share trading. There's a platform called Palm Trace. So Palm Trace is like a share trading where you can list your credit for sale. So there's a buy and bid kind of match up. So once there's somebody willing to pay the price that you're put up to, you'll be able to sell it. That's totally like share trading. The other way to sell it is through a palmer mill. Palmer mill, that means the the smallholder will have the choice telling the palm oil mill that, but the palm oil mill must be RSPO certified as well. Under NY Hill, we have one mill that is under RSPO certified, which is in the Penangang mill. So once you have declared that to us, we will be able to sell that to Tansunan or to other refinery that will be able to accept that. So that money will be channeled from Wilmar to the palm oil mill to the smallholders. But this will have OER, we will have the price and the conversion of the USD all being agreed upon before you deliver. So it will be like a contract. So let's say if you in November you will have to declare what you're going to sell in December. Then after that the palm oil mill, when they pay you the FFB price is FFB price. Then you have this credit that is put on top of the FFB price. So you get another $4.55. So maybe you want to carry on that.
All right. Okay. So we are talking just about FFB, and there's also the PK. So there's also PK here, and for PK, the formula is similar, but it's only the OER for PK is a bit different. It's based on 4.5% of the FFB that we have traded is either in the palm trays or you directly sell to the mill. So let's assume that we currently will do a palm trays platform, okay, a purely palm tray platform. So just now when we are doing the FFB, there's a 20% the OER for PK for FFB. For PK is 4.5. So let's look at this formula. Also 12,000, similar for the first year, and then the yield is 0.876. Come with 13,000 metric ton per year with OER 598. And then it's the same thing. We will only be able to claim for the first 2 years, which is this and this and this for 40%. Then the IGA credit is a bit different. They are higher. They are $25. Then convert that to USD, then convert to ringgit. It comes to 24,000. So each member for that particular year and that particular sales, each member who has able to provide information for eligibility stage and in the process of rectifying issues for their documentation, will get additional $1.83 per metric ton. So that will bring me to the next slide, which is a quick summary of what you will get for those who have joined the RSPO. Let's look at the first year. This is the first year. So in the first year eligibility stage, total FFB is 60,000, PK is 24,000, and total is 84,000. And with the calculation I've provided just now, each member will get each metric ton for credit they are selling through RSPO credit is $6.37. And then of course the second year is the same, and the third year will be more because of the allowance that allow us to claim. It's a little bit higher, it's 70%. That's why it's gone up to $9.75. Then, of course, the fourth year, when we are in the process of doing the implementation, then we can get 100% for all the credit we sell via the palm trees platform or through the palm oil mill that we may have a deal with. Is there any questions?
I would like to correct some mistake that you have on your slide.
Okay, yeah.
The credit for selling is not FFB for NPK, it's CPO.
Oh yes, CPO.
Palm oil and PK.
Yeah.
And the PK extraction is KER, not OER. OER is for CPO. That should be KER.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
That's one of the things. I'll add on to this credit. Can we go back to that?
This one?
Yeah. So this money that is eligible for the smallholders, we will have. There will be still a lot of things that we need to discuss with the board of directors of how this money or how this credit will be accounted for. For example, if you choose the cooperative to sell the credits for you, then the cooperative will have to decide how to sell, when to sell, and how to disperse that money to you. There are some models that we are thinking about, but once we have a firm number, our target is about 50 smallholders to go for the first batch. Once we have that, we probably will sit down with these 50 smallholders and try to get a consensus of how we're gonna sell it, when we're gonna sell it, who's gonna sell it, and then how we're gonna disperse it. And a few models will be like we either sold everything, get an average price of what we sold because the market can come up and come down. I think in the first few times when we did it, when we first present this to the smallholders, we were doing something like 4.3 for USD and $15 for the credit. So that will translate into a little bit more. I think it was $7 plus. Right now you can see that because the USD has weakened, and then also the price has come down a bit, we are looking at $6.07 a ton of FFB the smallholders can get. So if the smallholders assign the cooperative to sell this credit for you, we will have to design a model that everybody has to be comfortable. How we sell it, what rate do we change those USD to ringgit, and how we disperse those payment to the smallholders. So we do it all in one go at the end of the year, or would you rather you get it every month? So that is a model that we need to go through to the board of directors, define the model, and then make sure everybody is comfortable with other factors. If you decide to sell it under the mill, it's like, okay, you have to understand all the credits belong to smallholders. It does legally the credits is assigned and awarded to the cooperative, but the credit actually belongs to the smallholders. So the smallholders can dictate how you want to sell your own credit. So I will go through to the board and make sure the board will approve the smallholders to sell this credit through a farmer mill. If you want to do a farmer mill, then because I also have a farmer mill, then I will also design a model to deal with the smallholders, so the smallholders can declare that credit to the farmer mill and for the farmer mill to sell on behalf of the smallholder. But at the same time, because this credit is legally belong to the cooperative, the smallholders also have to declare to the cooperative which farmer mill that you have already sold this credit to. So the cooperative will have to report that on the palm trade system to let RSPO know, okay, this credit has been sold under, let's say, MY Hill, or maybe let's say it's sold under Tansun Hall, or sold under Tech One, and so forth. So that will become the model that we think that should work out. But we will not present this until we have about 50. Once we have 50, we'll go to the board and get a consensus of how what the board thinks about what is fair and what is not fair, and what is generally acceptable by the members. I'll come up with a few. Other than that, of course, there's pro and con on both sides. Because if you take that, if the corporation has one model to sell this credit, you probably be a bit less involved in it. You just let the corporation to sell. If you want to take that onto your own hands and to take that will come to what kind of price that you have and what kind of USD that you have to convert that into. So all that decision will probably have to make by the smallholders if you sell through the physical to the farmer mill. So that you probably have to decide yourself. But in another way you can look at it is that as long as you have more control, you can also open a USD account and then you can pay you in USD, then you can convert that. You can convert that into ringgit whenever you want. It depends how you want it. So, we can take questions now. This is roughly how the whole gesture of it works. We can go back. We can take questions on the eligibility, milestone A, milestone B, and also the questions on this credit as well.
Some of you have asked that when are we closing the registrations for RSPO? There's actually, how do I say? There's a few stages. We aim that as a cooperative team, we aim to to have the first batch of smallholder from the cooperative to register by end of this month. So although our target is 50, but we do try to have a first batch to go through the eligibility stage. So if any one of you who is interested and would like to know a bit more about this, speak to Ms. Liao and also Man or Aslina about how to register. And we do aim to have the first batch and have those documents completed by this month. So just give Monday a call.
Yeah, we can take anybody that's interested, please let us know. I know probably some feels like there's no urgency to it because we are probably going to do it in batches. But it will be easier for us to go in a big number, because as long as the numbers are big, that means that the ton cost is going to be lower. So I'm going to touch a little bit on what's going to happen to your $1 a ton membership fee to the cooperative if you join RSPO. There will be two sorts of, there will be additional cost that comes involved to this RSPO. So if you're only doing MSPO, you'll probably still be paying $1 per ton for your membership fee. But if you're willing to do RSPO and MSPO, then the cost will probably increase a little bit to cater for the RSPO cost. So let's say for example, so of course we don't know now, you might increase that to $1.30, $1.40, or maybe $1.43 or something like that. So we will divide those RSPO additional costs among the ones that actually wants to do RSPO. So actually, if the numbers are actually big, you can pull that cost down and everybody will have more profit. Adding to this, and I want to say to the smallholders is like, the way I look at it is like this money is there for smallholders to benefit. And I think everybody should go in, because you can drop out at any point of time if you think that you are not interested. But when you feel like you want to come back onto this RSPO, let's say you have done eligibility stage and then you move on to milestone A, and then all of a sudden all the things that we ask you to do, maybe like worker contracts and riparian, and you think, oh, it's getting a bit tough, I don't think I need a bit of time, you can drop out. You can drop out. And then when you think that becomes a normal, and then you can think that, okay, I can come back in. You don't start from eligibility. You actually go into milestone A straight away, and then get audited for milestone B. So you can come in and out at any time. But of course, there is a process. Of course, I also don't encourage it. But the thing is, like, the flexibility is there. And we can do in terms of different batches also. So we will have batch 1, batch 2, batch 3, until all the aim, of course, is to get all our smallholders to be certified in a number of years. That we have roughly about 300 plus smallholders. Of course, the corporate aim will hope that all these 300 plus will go for RSPO. I know the planters are all very, very excited about this, but the planters are not yet ready to go for RSPO. They are still at MSPO stage. The way I look at this for smallholders is that because there are the things that are not a lot of problem that we see cannot achieve. We see this is very doable for our Tawau smallholders. We are not in the kampong side where we chop down forest to palm oil. We don't have that much of a wildlife problem. I mean, even though if you're next to the reserve forest, as long as you mark the boundary and make sure you don't go through that one, and then make sure you have a wildlife policy that you follow, and I think most of the time, we'll be okay. But anyway, whatever the problem is, the corporacy has a big team now. We are still going to hire more people, and then we will assure that all of you will go through that process and make sure everybody will get it. We have the confidence also. So, just shoot your question if you have any.